Rain battered the reinforced canopy of the jungle outpost as thunder rumbled like distant artillery. Robin sat alone beside a rusting console, its flickering lights casting pale glows on his scarred knuckles. The storm mirrored the chaos buried. Inside him, memories he no longer welcomed. He sipped stale coffee, barely noticing the bitter taste. A warning tone broke the silence, sharp and unnatural. Robin leaned forward. The perimeter sensors lit up. Something massive had crashed just beyond the eastern ridge. No meteor registered, no aircraft logs matched. He hesitated only a moment before grabbing his gear. Outside, the air was thick with heat and ozone. The jungle roared with wind and rain as he navigated the overgrown trail, flashlight in one hand, sidearm in the other. Trees trembled, as if the earth itself had flinched from whatever had fallen. The crash site reeked of scorched metal and something unfamiliar. Ionized air, maybe, but laced with something sweeter, almost floral. Broken branches and burned foliage formed a rough impact path leading to a shallow crater. At its center lay a figure. Robin froze. She wasn't human. Tall, slender, her skin shimmered like oil over glass, shifting with colors that didn't exist in any spectrum he knew. Her armor looked alive, breathing faintly, pulsing with faint light. Deep lacerations covered her torso, and a dark fluid seeped into the mud around her. Her breathing was shallow, each gasp a struggle. Her eyes fluttered open as he approached. Multi-layered irises focused on him with unnatural clarity. She tried to speak, failed, then tried again. "Please, help me," she said, her voice melodic but strained, as though layered over itself in echo. Robin lowered his weapon and knelt beside her. Her skin radiated warmth, like an engine overheating. Her chest spasmed. Instinct overrode caution. He scanned her with his handheld monitor. No human baseline. Internal systems crashing. Blood chemistry incompatible with any known profile. "You need help I don't know how to give," he muttered. Her hand gripped his wrist, shockingly strong. "Your blood," she whispered, eyes locking onto his. "Compatible. Only chance." He stared at her, caught between disbelief and a strange pull he couldn't explain. What was she really asking? What if it killed them both? But then he remembered the last time he hesitated, how hesitation had cost his entire research team their lives. This time, he wouldn't freeze. "I'm Robin," he said quietly. "Let's see if we can save you." Back at the outpost, he cleared the cluttered med station with swift, practiced movements. Dust clung to the equipment, left untouched since he'd sworn never to use it again. He laid her on the reinforced table. Her breathing had worsened, her skin flickering dimmer. By the second, he prepped the transfusion manually. No AI, no auto-diagnostics, just instinct, knowledge, and shaky hands. Robin inserted the needle into his arm, watching the crimson stream coil through the tubing. The second needle hovered over her arm, where no visible vein presented itself. But the moment his blood drew near, her skin responded, unfolding in geometric patterns that revealed a pulsing node. "This'll hurt," he warned. She didn't flinch. The blood entered her system, and something extraordinary happened. Her skin lit from within, like stars awakening beneath the surface. Wounds began to close, fabric reknit itself, and her breathing deepened into a steadier rhythm. Robin backed away, breath caught in his throat. The air vibrated softly. The room felt smaller, heavier, as if gravity itself had shifted. Her eyes opened again, clearer now, aware. "Your blood is unlike anything I've known," she said, voice stronger, more focused. "You nearly died," Robin said. "Still might." She studied him, then smiled faintly. "But I didn't." And for the first time in years he felt the heavy silence inside him begin to crack. Not broken, not healed, but shifting. Outside, thunder rolled again, Robin paced. The perimeter of the lab as rain thudded against the solar panels overhead. Outside, the jungle swayed like it was breathing, but inside the old outpost, time had stilled. His veins still tingled from the transfusion. The low hum of the med console echoed louder than it should have. Behind him, Lena stirred. He turned, eyes narrowing as she slowly sat up. Her armor clung to her body like living glass, slowly stitching itself back together. Patterns glowed faintly beneath her translucent skin, shifting like constellations in motion. Her gaze swept the room before settling on him with eerie precision. "You are afraid," she said, her voice smoother now, less strained, yet still layered with resonance. "I've been afraid since you fell out of the sky," he replied, arms crossed. "And you're glowing. That's new." Her eyes sparkled, not from mischief, but something older, deeper. "Your blood changed me." "It's still changing me." Robin frowned. "Changed how?" She glanced down at her hands, flexing long fingers. "Our systems adapt to compatible DNA. It triggers evolution. Our healers once theorized such transformation was possible, but none survived the process." "And you have?" he asked. "I am still becoming." She rose unsteadily, tall and imposing despite the fragility in her steps. Robin moved to catch her, but she waved him off. "I must learn how my body moves now," she said. "Yours altered more than my biology. It awakened dormant codes." He blinked. "Codes? You mean genetic sequences?" "Yes," she said, brushing a hand across her abdomen. "Buried traits, ancient directives, locked away until now." He watched her silently. The transfusion had been a gamble, an instinctive act. But whatever had happened went beyond science, beyond reason. "You said?" "Compatible," he asked cautiously. "Compatible with what?" Lena stepped closer, her movements steadier, more graceful with every breath. "A myth from my world," she said, "of one whose blood would carry the resonance, the frequency of Genesis. Your pattern matched it, perfectly." Robin chuckled nervously. "That's absurd." "Perhaps," she said, tilting her head. "But your blood didn't just heal me. It bonded." He turned away, needing space, needing logic. "I didn't sign up for any cosmic prophecy. I was just trying to keep someone alive." Her voice softened. "And that's why it chose you." A pulse trembled through the room. The monitors spiked, lights flickering as the energy between them surged again. Robin stepped back, but Lena advanced. "Every time you move away, the reaction intensifies," she said. He exhaled sharply. "Then maybe you should keep your distance." Her lips curved. "You're not afraid of me." "You're afraid of what?" "This means." "Wouldn't you be?" he snapped. "You crash into my life, literally, then tell me I've triggered some alien metamorphosis, that you're still changing because of me." She reached out, but paused inches from his chest. "Your heartbeat accelerates every time I speak like this. You're not just reacting to information. You're feeling something too." He looked away. "Doesn't mean I understand it." Lena lowered her hand. "Understanding isn't required for resonance. Only presence." A sudden crackle from the console drew their attention. A faint energy pulse blinked across the long-range scanner. Robin narrowed his eyes. "That's a signal," he said. "Not from me," Lena added quickly. Robin checked the coordinates. "Something's searching, scanning, triangulating." "They're tracking the change," she said. "Your blood triggered a flare neither species was prepared to hide." Robin swore under his breath. "You brought them here?" "No," she said calmly. "They were already looking. Now they know where to aim." He moved to the weapons locker, unlocking the old biometric seal. The case hissed open, revealing dust-covered weapons he hadn't touched in years. "You can't fight them," she warned. "I don't plan to," he replied. but I won't be caught off guard again. Lena stepped beside him, studying the firearms with quiet interest. Your world builds tools for destruction with such precision. We call it defense, Robin muttered, though sometimes the line blurs. She studied his face, then said gently, I don't want war. Not again. He looked at her sharply. You've been in one? My people are dying, she said. Fighting over what to become. Evolution became a battlefield. I ran before they could force my body into their vision. And now? She held his gaze. Now, I'm something they can't predict. Robin looked at the scanner again. The signal was growing stronger. He could feel the future closing in. I don't know what you are, he said quietly, but I won't let them take you. Her voice dropped near a whisper. You already gave me life. I won't let them take that from you either. For a long moment, nothing moved. Then the scanner beeped again, sharper this time. More signals joined it. Then we need to move, Robin said. Now. Lena nodded once. Wherever we go, the change follows. He glanced at her, eyes drawn to the soft glow beneath her skin. Then, let's make sure it leads somewhere worth reaching. The jungle swallowed them as soon as they left the outpost. Moisture clung to every leaf, every branch shimmered with condensation, and the air carried the weight of something unseen, an awareness, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. Robin led the way through overgrown trails, his boots sinking into the wet earth with each step. Lena followed, her movements unnervingly silent for someone so recently injured. Neither spoke at first. The silence between them wasn't empty. It pulsed with unspoken thoughts and quickened heartbeats. They both knew the old path would disappear soon. Nature reclaimed everything, especially secrets. They reached the ridge just as the sun began to rise through the storm's fading remnants. Golden light pierced through mist, refracting off Lena's skin in a soft iridescence. Robin paused at the sight. She looked less like an intruder now, more like something the world had been waiting for. You're changing again, he said. Lena's hand touched her side where a faint spiral of glowing marks had appeared. It doesn't stop. Your DNA isn't just compatible. It's catalytic. It's waking every dormant sequence in me. He stared at the patterns curling up her arms like vines made of starlight. That doesn't sound good. It's not. Dangerous, she replied. Just irreversible. They climbed higher, the incline steep and slippery. Robin reached back instinctively, offering his hand. She took it without hesitation, her palm warm and alive with a soft current that made his fingertips tingle. The contact lingered longer than necessary. When they reached the top, a clearing opened before them, an old crash site from a forgotten era. Stone monoliths jutted from the ground in unnatural formations, overgrown, but not eroded. Robin had only seen this place once before, years ago. No one could explain its origin, and those who studied it vanished or went silent. Lena's breath caught. This is it, she whispered. I don't remember being here, but I feel it in my blood. Robin looked at her, puzzled. How could you know something you've never seen? She stepped forward, her fingers brushing over one of the stones. The surface shimmered beneath. Her touch, revealing intricate carvings that pulsed to the rhythm of her heartbeat. Or was it his? Your blood didn't just heal me, she said. It unlocked ancestral memory. This site, it's encoded in my people's forgotten evolution, and now it recognizes me. Robin walked to her side. The stone glowed brighter where she stood, responding like an ancient machine coming online. What does it mean? That? I'm the first in 1,000 generations to complete the resonance, she replied. Because of you. He looked away, overwhelmed. I didn't mean to change you. I just didn't want to watch you die. She turned to him, eyes luminous with something fierce and tender. And that choice may have saved more than me. He couldn't respond. Something pressed between them, not physical, not explainable. The forest quieted around them as if the entire world leaned closer. Then it hit him. A flicker of motion, barely visible on the horizon. He raised his scanner. 3 drones, cloaked, closing fast. Not military issued, sleeker, colder, designed. For one purpose. They found us, he said. Lena didn't flinch. Let them come. Robin faced her. We're exposed here. No, she said calmly. We're not. She extended her arms, palms up. The monoliths began to hum, rising in pitch until they formed a resonance that vibrated through the bones. A dome of translucent energy bloomed outward, surrounding the clearing in a flickering field. Robin stared in disbelief. You activated the structure? I didn't, she said. We did. The drones hit the barrier and scattered like insects repelled by flame. Sparks burst through the canopy before the machines vanished into the trees. Robin exhaled sharply. That won't stop them forever. No, she agreed, lowering her hands. But it proves we're not helpless. He nodded, pulse steadying. We should head deeper. Find shelter before more arrive. As they prepared to descend, Lena hesitated. She placed his hand against her lower abdomen, her skin fever-warm and buzzing faintly. Robin froze. What is it? You need to feel it, she said softly. Not just understand. At first, he felt nothing beyond the hum of her energy. Then something shifted beneath the surface. A soft pulse, not hers, not his. Smaller, independent, alive. His breath hitched. He couldn't say it. Yes, she replied, voice like a trembling flame. Your blood triggered reproductive synthesis. The transformation wasn't just in me. It created something new. He stepped back, trying to process. We didn't. We weren't even. No physical contact was necessary, she said. My biology doesn't follow your rules. It absorbed your genetic pattern and interpreted it as a signal to begin. He staggered slightly, the gravity of it pressing down. So it's mine? Ours, she said. By choice of biology and resonance. He met her gaze, searching, for disbelief and finding none. Her eyes held only clarity, and something that might have been hope. We need to keep it safe, he said finally, his voice low. Lena stepped close, her forehead nearly touching his. Then stay with me. Don't run, he didn't move. Couldn't. I'm not going anywhere, he said, and deep in the forest, beneath alien stars long buried, a new heartbeat began to echo. The jungle no longer felt alive, it felt alert. Every rustling leaf, every whisper of wind carried a new kind of pressure. One Robin couldn't explain but felt in his bones. The pulse Lena had awakened was no longer confined to her body. The air shimmered faintly around her, distorting heat, sound, and movement. They moved quickly, ducking through thick undergrowth and weaving between roots older than any map. Lena's presence disrupted the ecosystem. Birds scattered before she appeared. Insects avoided her path, and the canopy above pulsed in rhythm with her steps. Robin had seen strange things during his time as a soldier, but none had ever made the earth itself respond. They found temporary shelter inside the remains of a derelict facility, half swallowed by vines and weathered metal. The structure had once been a research station, long since abandoned, its solar grid fried and data cores stripped. But it had walls, a roof, and hidden corners, enough to catch their breath. Robin dropped his pack onto a steel table coated with years of dust. He scanned the area for signals, searching for any signs of pursuit. The results weren't promising. Multiple pings echoed from orbit, irregular but focused, triangulating with eerie precision. They're not just tracking your body anymore, he muttered. They're following the energy signature. Lena stood by a cracked window, her silhouette glowing faintly against the encroaching dusk. Because the child magnifies it. Every hour, it grows stronger. He turned to her. How fast is this happening? She closed her eyes, fingers resting on her abdomen. Faster than any natural cycle. My species reproduces rarely, over decades. This is being accelerated. Robin moved to her side, unsettled. What does that mean for you? It means we're running out of time to stay hidden, she said, voice steady. And I may not survive the birth if we don't find stabilization soon. He clenched his jaw. There's got to be something. Some kind of technology, a method to slow it down. There might be, she admitted, but not on Earth. A moment passed between them, filled with the unsaid. Robin looked out the window. On the far edge of the jungle, a faint flicker of artificial light moved. Too smooth, too precise to be natural. Surveillance drones again. He stepped away from the opening. We can't stay here. Lena turned to him, her expression unreadable. I know a place, she said, but it's not marked on your maps. Where? A vault beneath the roots of a ruined vessel buried under centuries of soil, she replied. My ancestors left it behind when they first reached this system. If it still functions, it might offer protection. Robin nodded once. Then, we go there. Before they could leave, Lena faltered. Her knees buckled. He caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin burned against his, not with fever, but with energy. A deep pulse rolled through her body, strong enough to make nearby. Glass tremble. I'm fine, she whispered, even as her glow intensified. It's responding to something. Robin held her steady. What kind of response? An awakening, she said, eyes wide with both wonder and fear. Something ancient. Beneath us. Before he could question further, a panel on the far wall flickered to life, dim blue lights crawling across dead circuits. The entire room trembled. From beneath the floor, an old conduit rumbled open. Robin glanced at her. Is this your doing? No, she said. It's the child's. They descended into the opening. A hidden corridor stretched beneath the ruins, carved from alloy unfamiliar to any human hand. Symbols lined the walls, glowing softly as Lena passed. The deeper they went, the more intense the air became. Pressure built, not from gravity, but something emotional, like stepping into a sacred place never meant for outsiders. At the end of the corridor, a chamber opened before them. A circular room with a pulsing core in the center, part biological, part mechanical. It throbbed like a heart suspended in light. Lena gasped. It's still alive! Robin stared in disbelief. What is it? A seed of my people, she murmured. An artificial womb designed to protect and evolve. She stepped forward, placing both hands on the surface of the core. The glow matched hers perfectly. For a moment, Robin thought the entire chamber exhaled. Energy flared, bathing the room in light. Then the walls came alive. Holograms burst into the air, figures speaking a language Robin didn't understand but somehow felt. Images of wars, of genetic destruction, of countless lives consumed in the name of progress. At the center of it, all stood a figure that looked eerily like Lena, or what Lena could become. She staggered back, overwhelmed. Robin caught her again, guiding her to sit beside the core. Her eyes were wide, not from pain, but realization. They created me to survive extinction, she said, trembling. But the child is something beyond even that. A rumble echoed from above. Robin activated his wrist scanner. Incoming transports, fast, military grade. They'd been found again. He looked down at her. Can this place hide us? No, she said. But it can protect the child if we bond it to the core. You mean leave it here? No, she said firmly. I mean merge its essence with the vault. Not separation. Evolution. He hesitated. And you? Lena stood slowly, the glow beneath her skin burning brighter now. If I survive, we leave together. If I don't, this place ensures our child is never used as a weapon. Robin's hands closed around hers. We're not losing you, she smiled faintly. Then help me finish what we started. Outside, engines roared through the clouds. Robin's scanner buzzed in his palm, warning of multiple life forms, armored, trained, advancing fast. He silenced the alert and glanced at Lena, who stood at the center of the chamber, her body illuminated by the pulse of the ancient core. Her expression remained calm, but the glow in her skin had deepened, shimmering in layered patterns that flickered with unspoken power. They've arrived, he said. I felt them moments ago, she replied, voice steady. The air tightened. Their thoughts are close, mistrust laced with fear. He moved closer, adjusting the grip on his weapon. They're not going to listen. They're here to extract and contain. They'll try, Lena said, stepping forward. The light from the core followed her, shifting with each movement, casting geometric shadows along the walls. But they don't understand what they're touching. Robin placed himself slightly in front of her, instinct overriding logic. I won't let them take you. She touched his shoulder gently, her fingers warm against his jacket. You won't have to fight them alone. Footsteps echoed down the corridor. A team of 6 appeared, weapons raised, helmets reflecting the glow of the core. The leader, a tall woman in matte black armor, stepped forward, voice amplified by her suit. Step away from the subject. Robin didn't move. She's not a subject. She's a person. That was a long time ago, he replied. Not long enough, she said. You know what this energy reading means. I know it's not a threat. The woman's gaze shifted to Lena. We've seen hybrid spikes before. They end in disaster. Lena's eyes gleamed, not with hostility, but with understanding. You fear what you can't measure. Fear keeps planets alive, the commander snapped. Fear also starts wars, Lena answered. I didn't come to wage one. Robin stepped between them again. You don't understand what's happening. She's carrying something new, something neither species has seen before. Exactly, the woman said. Unknowns are unacceptable. Risks. Robin lowered his weapon slightly, but his tone sharpened. If you try to separate her from the child, you'll destroy both. Another soldier moved closer. The core responded instantly, sending a wave of energy that knocked him back into the wall. Sparks flew. The others raised their rifles, but the commander held up her hand. What was that? She demanded. Lena stepped forward, eyes glowing. The vault protects its own. It's bonded to us now. Your machines won't survive a second warning. One of the soldiers spoke quietly into his comm. Robin could hear it, the subtle panic rising in their frequency. Equipment was malfunctioning. Power cells were draining. Light sensors flickered. She's affecting everything, the commander muttered. Robin took a slow step toward her. Because this place recognizes her as its heir. That core isn't a weapon. It's a cradle. It wasn't built to destroy. It was designed to protect evolution. A silence fell across the chamber. Then Lena spoke again. You don't need to fear what's growing here. But if you try to control it, you'll lose more than your systems. You'll lose your future. The commander studied them both for a long moment. Her shoulders stiffened. I wasn't authorized to negotiate. My orders were to retrieve the energy source by any means. Robin looked her in the eye. Then you'll have to go through me. Lena's glow intensified. The vault responded, walls humming with latent energy, the very structure vibrating, with readiness. The tension crackled like lightning before a storm. The commander cursed under her breath, then turned to her team. Fall back. The others hesitated, but followed. They moved toward the exit, keeping weapons low, but hands ready. They reached the corridor. She glanced back. This isn't over. Robin nodded. It never is. When they were gone, The chamber exhaled, the hum quieted, the pressure eased. Lena walked to the center and knelt before the core. Robin followed, kneeling beside her. "You risked everything," she said. "So did you," he replied. She placed his hand over her abdomen. The pulse beneath was stronger now, not erratic but steady, certain. Their connection deepened with the touch, not just physical, but something unspoken. "This child," she whispered, "is not just a bridge. It's a new foundation." He looked at her, truly seeing her, not as a visitor or miracle, but as something permanent. "Then let's build something no one can tear down." Lena leaned forward, her forehead touching his. The core responded with a gentle wave of light, wrapping around them like warmth from a rising star. Outside, the jungle waited. Above, the sky braced for change, and beneath it all, a promise took root, one forged in blood, bonded by choice, and protected by something older than war. Robin stood just outside the chamber entrance, the wind brushing against his face, carrying the scent of wet earth and ozone. Behind him, the soft hum of the core continued, rhythmic and alive, syncing perfectly with Lena's presence. It no longer felt alien. It felt like a second heartbeat pulsing beneath the world's skin. He turned back toward her. Lena sat cross-legged near the energy cradle, her skin glowing faintly in the dim light. The patterns across her arms had deepened into elegant arcs and spirals, like a language written only in motion. Her eyes were closed, but he knew she wasn't resting. She was listening, feeling, communing with something far beyond his understanding. He moved closer, stopping just beside her. "You've been still for hours." She opened her eyes slowly, and they shimmered with starlight. "Time behaves differently here. The child is teaching me things I never knew." Robin lowered himself beside her, his shoulder brushing hers. "What kind of things?" "That your world is louder than mine, but its silence holds deeper meaning," she said softly. "And that some truths don't require explanation. Only trust." He glanced at the core, its glow warming the chamber like a sunrise just beneath. The earth. "What happens now?" She smiled, the expression subtle, but full of clarity. "Now we prepare." "For what?" "For life." Robin exhaled, the weight in his chest slowly beginning to lift. The fear hadn't vanished, but it had transformed, no longer a threat to run from, but a responsibility to face. "You're staying." Lena nodded. "There's no place safer than where purpose begins." The vault was waiting, and now it breathes. Again, "We belong here." He didn't argue. Somewhere deep in his bones he already knew. What about the others? More will come. "They'll find a message waiting," she said. "One they cannot silence." Outside the ruins, cameras hidden in the underbrush blinked to life. Not military, not corporate. Civilian networks, broadcasts, leaks. The confrontation in the vault had been recorded, transmitted across secure and insecure lines alike. Someone, somewhere, had chosen to share the moment the soldiers stepped back instead of firing. The world had seen Robin stand in front of Lena, and Lena stand without fear. Weeks passed. The vault became a sanctuary. Lena adjusted quickly, faster than any pattern Robin had seen in her kind. She understood technology within moments, rewired dormant systems with her touch, and taught Robin how to feel energy the way he once read vitals. The child within her grew swiftly, not rushed but guided, as if time bent gently around them. In the evenings they sat beneath the jungle canopy, the stars peeking through the trees. Lena would rest against Robin, their hands entwined, and he'd feel the pulse of life blooming between them. Every night, the child's energy grew more distinct, its own rhythm, its own light. Then one night, Lena turned to him and said, It's time. There was no panic, no pain. Only stillness and warmth and a light so bright it seemed to dissolve the walls of the world. Robin helped her to the core, and as her fingers touched its surface, the chamber awakened. Patterns surged up the walls, the vault glowing in harmony with her body. She breathed deeply, her eyes never leaving his. "You're not just the father," she whispered. "You are the anchor." He didn't fully understand, but he stayed with her, steady and present, as light enveloped them both. The child emerged not with cries, but with a soft pulse of energy that filled the space, a calm radiance born of two worlds. Robin held the Frey, newborn, in his arms, a being neither entirely human nor fully alien, but whole, radiant, and watching with luminous eyes that mirrored the stars. Lena reached out, touching their child's face with reverence. "She's not just a bridge," she said. "She's a beginning." Robin looked down at the small, glowing form swaddled in warmth. "What should we call her?" Lena paused, then smiled. "Asha. Hope." The name echoed in the chamber as if the vault itself had spoken. News of the birth reached every corner of Earth and beyond. Some celebrated, some feared, and others remained uncertain. But no one could deny that something extraordinary had arrived, a future no longer imagined, but real and breathing. Months later, from a reawakened sanctuary hidden beneath living roots, a child played beneath twin lights, one from the core, one from the stars above, and just beyond, her parents watched, hand in hand, their story no longer secret, their hearts no longer hollow. They had built something new, and the world would never be the same.